Welcome to the Life Around Techie, where technology meets creativity and learning becomes fun. I'm an educator who taught K 12 students coding, helped parents understand the power of tech skills, and guided hundreds of young learners through their first steps into the digital world. Today, we'll be starting with a tutorial on advanced Scratch, where I will explain everything you should know as a beginner and can easily able to create advanced block-based programming. So let's get started. Here, I'm showing you animation that we are going to create in the next few sessions. So to create this, we'll start with a new project. Before we start, firstly, let's understand what is block-based coding. Block based coding is a beginner friendly programming approach that has some predefined drag and drop blocks instead of text to create the programs. Students can connect these blocks like puzzles. They are like puzzle pieces to build the code, which simplifies the process of writing complex syntax and reducing the errors. This method is widely used for teaching programming fundamentals to children and help them learn logic, problem solving, and creativity. So here we are going to start with a new project. This is how the page look like. There is an option called create. Let's click on create. Wait for 2 minutes. This is how the window looks like. Here you can start giving the name of the project. Let me introduce you to this platform if somebody is new to use. As we are going to create a rain animation, I'm going to give the name meaningful so we can open it at any point of time. Now here there are some settings. You have to save every time that you make changes to your file, name it, and then you can share it. If you don't click on the share option over here, you cannot share it to somebody else. Now, here on the left side, you can see a set of blocks, some colorful palette. Here, the motion represents movement. Looks represent how you want the characters to be look like. You can add sound. You can handle the trigger of an event, some action to be taken place in the program by using this events blocks. You can control the entire programming. So here we having a sensing block which tells like one character is touching the other. We have a operators block, variable block where we can create our own variables, my blocks, which is like a functions. We'll see all together slowly step by step from the basics. We can drag these blocks, drop it into this area. This area is called workspace area. And on the right side, you can see a stage. This is the position at which the cat is right now. We can change the name of the sprite. We can add some beautiful backgrounds. Let's get started. Let's search for some characters. You can add the characters in multiple ways. You can search for a new one. You can create a one. You can upload it from Google or somewhere else. For now, the character that we are trying to place it, we have a size option. We can decrease the size to 50. Let's add the background as well. The blue sky, the stage has appeared. Now let's make this boy stand on the ground properly. When we add backdrop or a sprite, you can go to this costume, three tabs over here. One is code. I have selected this boy. I go to this costumes. There are multiple costumes we can switch between. I want the boy to hold the umbrella. Let's also find one umbrella. If it's see we do not have an umbrella, what you can do is you can go to Google, get the umbrella, upload it. The height of umbrella is too long. We will go to the costumes. We can convert to vector. I can make it look short now, right? Now let's bring and keep it at the center like this. Let's go and start bringing the water drop as well. You can go to Google, get the water drop as well. We can get the water drop. Here is an option to show. Sometimes it switches between this. With this, We have added the sprites, and always don't forget to click on save. Now, let's start doing the code part for the what we want when the flag is clicked. This is an event. What is an event? When somebody is clicking on a button or hovering on a particular area on the screen, some action will take place. That the action that is taking place is called as an event, and that is usually triggered by the user. Triggered means the action is being taken place. You may be pressing some up arrow, down arrow, or you're pressing some key on the keyboard. There is a certain kind of action that is taking place. So when the flag is clicked, I want this boy to stay at this particular position. So I'll simply go to XY. Because my position is already set over here. Same way, when the flag is clicked, go to motion lock, go to X0 and Y minus 75. Now we want this raindrop to continuously fall down, right? Because we want a look of animation. When the flag is clicked, we will go to the motion block and go to X, Y. Now it is X is minus 59 and Y is 161. Do we want the raindrop to come always from the same position? No, right? In that case, we'll go to the operators block. Operators is a block where we have different kinds of operators like addition, subtraction, multiplication. The slash is a division, then, greater than, less than. Very similar to math, we have all the operators. Along with that, in computers, there are certain kind of special operators called and or not. When we want to combine the things, we can pick these. Let's pick random 1 to 10, through which we can just simply give certain numbers, any random numbers. I'll give it as minus 200 to plus 200 because this entire stage is divided into x-axis and y-axis. From the left, it is negative for the x-axis, center is over here, and towards to right, it is 200. And from the top, it is positive 200, and in the center, it is 0, and towards to down, it is negative. Once I click on green flag, the position of this drop is being randomly shifting in the x direction, constant y position. Constant means in programming, like it will never change until you change it. You can always go to looks and show it because it was hiding between these two, like show and hide. So you always should show it. Now the magic starts. What we want the water drop to do, it should keep on continuously come downwards, right? Continuously. You want something to happen again and again in programming. There is a concept called as loops. But here, I want you to understand, even in block based, you're dragging and dropping forever. What is forever block? I want you to smoothly move to the text based coding. When you use block based coding by understanding what the terminology is in text based, you'll be able to easily correlate it. Forever is like a loop. Something is happening again and again. You want this water drop to keep on occurring like rain. Use forever here. Now, in which direction we want to move it? Downward direction. We will go to the motion block. Just scroll down a bit. You'll find change y by 10. So instead of 10, we will give some number minus 8. Save code. We'll keep creating only one raindrop now. So it went down and it's stuck. We want the raindrop to continuously happen. For that, when it touches the ground, there is a sensing block in our Scratch. We can implement a particular if condition. If it is touching the ground, adding the condition over here. Let's add one more sprite by clicking on paint. So you understood on how to bring a sprite from Google, and you also learned on how to add a sprite by searching it. We can add it in multiple ways. Now let's paint it and create a sprite. try to draw a rectangle. Position it properly. Select it one more time because the handlers went away. We'll decrease the size of it. Turn the color to something like brown. We have the fill color. Boy is standing on the ground and we have a good view. We can rename the sprite name because it is showing sprite 1. So let's name it as ground. Let's rename this. You can say drop 1 as well. Let's make it as umbrella so that the names are meaningful. What we want in the drop, in programming, there is a concept called conditional programming. Like in real life, if it is raining outside, we will take an umbrella, right? Here, we want to check a condition. If a raindrop is touching this ground, I want to make it appear back on top again. We will go to the control. We have if then. Inside this diamond, we can mention the touching mouse pointer. Fix it inside this slowly. In place of mouse pointer, we choose raindrop. It means if the raindrop is touching the ground, what we want to happen? We want to have in sound. We want to hide the raindrop for a while, right? And then we want to make it appear back again. We will first go to sounds, bring start sound. Go to the third tab on the top. Go here and start searching rain. We'll be using this. We have the rain sound. Start clicking on this. Go to the looks block. Why? We want to hide the raindrop. Go here. Keep it one below the other. Are they not like a puzzles that you play in real life? You're just taking the blocks and stacking them according to the logic that you want to build. You want to control it. You want this raindrop to appear after certain seconds. Go to control, bring this and keep it as 0.2 seconds. After 2 seconds, we want it to appear back again on the top. So right click on this, you can duplicate it and keep it on a right side. You don't want the entire block, give this back to block. You can separate it for a while and then you can duplicate it. Now I'm making it appear on top back again after 2 seconds. After appearing there, we have to make it show. Not to be hidden, we have to show it back again. Now, as we have made a lot of changes, let's click on the Save Project. Click on the green flag. If you could see, there is a rain sound because it is touching the ground, as well as the raindrop is appearing randomly at certain position. If this is clear, we'll meet in the next session, continuing raindrop animation, where you're going to understand the programming concepts as well. Thank you.